I'm fresh out the shower and I just got the idea of talking about trees. What a random intro, right? But hey, life is random. I was listening to this Radio Labs podcast a couple days ago, and this scientist was talking about the mind-blowing complexity of trees and the network of trees. Their root systems are such a complex network. And they do things like they have a symbiotic relationship with some fungi in order to get nutrients. And there's so much communication within the roots of trees. And she even coins the term the wood wide web for this complex network of trees, because each forest is essentially like a network. It's like a nervous system, or it's like an internet. It's the wood wide web. And yeah, it's a it's a really evolved form of intelligence. So we need to reevaluate what we think of as intelligence, because we think of intelligence in terms of a small, very, very small sliver. And we really have to reevaluate what intelligence is. So before I go into that intelligence stuff, yeah, trees are smart and they communicate. And I've experienced this myself, and everyone's experienced it to some degree. If you walk in the woods or you go hiking on a mountain where there's like big wild trees, you feel it. Everyone feels it to different extents, but you feel it. And whatever feeling you get, that is a method of communication. It's a language. And the more you get in tune with those feelings, the more you're able to decipher that language. Trees don't come out and talk like people do. It's not like in Pocahontas where the tree grows a face and starts talking. They communicate in completely different ways. And our paradigm of reality doesn't even allow for that. Doesn't even allow for that type of communication that trees communicate through. So yeah, I've had experiences where, I touch a tree or something like that, and I get a distinct feeling or even a subtle message or an emotion just by connecting with that tree. And again, it's usually not like the tree's going to straight up talk to you. It's very different. It's a more subtle communication than we're used to. And so many tribal societies and ancient societies communicate with trees. From the Western analytical rigid mindset, it seems like they're crazy or they're just making stuff up, but there's truth to it because they do communicate with the trees. If you look at ayahuasca in the Amazon, if you ask a shaman they how they found out how to make it, because it's such a specific blend of plants and trees, and they use the right ones because certain enzymes will have to turn on and off in order for it to be active in the body, in order for the DMT to activate. So it's a complicated process. And if you ask them how they found this out, they'll say that the trees told them, which it seems crazy to the Western mind, but people that live with nature, they have a completely different perception of the world, and they communicate differently, and they have more access to that kind of communication than we're used to. If you live in the Western world, you just walk on sidewalks and you live in cities and you do that your whole life. So you don't even have the time to be able to develop the language of trees. You're not going to gain fluency if you spend 1 hour a month in the forest. It's as simple as that. So we really have to reevaluate what intelligence is and expand that perspective. And one more thing on trees. I heard this somewhere that animals move in space and trees move in time. And humans are the animals that can move through space and time. So that's something to ponder too. And regarding intelligence, again, we really have to expand the scope of what we view as intelligent, because if you say what's intelligent, the first thing that comes to mind to people is your rigid, analytical academic, that typical thing. And intelligence is celebrated in our school systems just in terms of regurgitating things on tests. It's not even intelligent. That's just you're mimicking essentially. So we have this very, very tiny view of intelligence. And we need to expand that. Even within humans, we need to expand that because we don't view a point guard in the NBA as being a genius, but they are to some degree. We don't view an elite MMA fighter as a genius, but they are. We don't, well, this is finally coming, but viewing like an artist as a genius, a painter, that's genius. It's very, very intelligent, just a different type of intelligence than your scientific or your scientist or academic or things like that. So widen that scope of what you think intelligence is, both in terms of humanity and in terms of other beings, because not just animals are intelligent, plants are intelligent too. They have intelligence, and it's just communicated in ways that are foreign to us. So yeah, open your mind to that. Maybe commune with some trees today. All right? Peace, peace, much love, and one love, baby.